Right, and we're live. We're good to go. So hello and welcome to another episode of Jay's Big Chat. Jermaine AKA Jay. And joining me to talk about the big topic that is parenting. We've got Shan, Dominic, Charity, and we have Charlotte. We've got another guest just through, so let's bring him in. And guys, we're going to literally crack on with another episode of Jay's Big Chat. We've got the big questions to answer, such as, is there an age that's too young to be a parent? And of course, like your own experiences as sort of teenage parents. So yeah, like let's introduce ourselves first of all. Let's start with you, Charlotte. Start and just give us a brief sort of background on yourself.
Okay, so I got pregnant. What's that? I got pregnant at 18, and I had my son at 18. I was with the father for a year. We found out the day after our year anniversary, and we got married, and then we ended up splitting up. He's still really, really good with him, so it's fine.
Okay, nice. And Dominic?
Yeah, so my name's Dominic. I'm 28. I found out I was going to be a dad when I was 20. Well, no, sorry, 19. So I had my daughter at 20. So I think my situation was just a little bit unique in a way, because it's funny because I was working as well. So my mum's side of the family wasn't so, like my side of the family, I should say, they weren't that hard on me. The challenge was her mum. So I was with my girlfriend at the time. And it's like, what you're going to do basically. And that's the part that I was scared of. So for me, it was like getting to grips with everything. And then after that, when I started to realize, okay, I'm actually going to be a dad, it's like just putting my ideas together, saying, okay, now I've got to get used to saving money. You know what I mean? I had a lot of people saying to me, oh, you can't buy your trainers no more, you can't buy your games no more. So
that's the stuff.
Are you like 8 years on, are you still buying your trainers?
You know what? It's funny that because that's what a lot of people focused on, but I saved every penny up until she was born.
Yeah.
But then I realized that certain things actually was given to us, like say cots or certain piece of clothing and gifts and things like that. So I did have money like I was able to spend on myself too. So I found that it wasn't like as bad as a lot of people said, but it was like some people that had bad experiences tried to tell me that this is what I'm going to come up to, like this is what's going to happen because of their experiences. So it was like a matter of me sort of finding my own way and finding what worked as well. So those times I was able to buy things for myself as well and still keep up with like my lifestyle, but I thought to myself, look, my priorities are now a child I'm going to bring into the world.
Yeah, of course.
So honestly, literally, it helped me that I was working from early. Because I'm thinking if I wasn't, then it would have been a bad problem. But I kind of looked at it like I was very fortunate with a lot of aspects, but it was also like a learning thing. So I had to learn as I went along as well. So I tell a lot of people like we literally grew up together, sort of thing. Like I was still a child myself, I'd say, but it's like knowing that I had someone that if I didn't back up my ideas and stuff, that person would suffer. That sort of like helped me mature a lot. As well.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing, and there's a couple of things that we're definitely going to touch on. If we just move on to the Charity, if you just give us a little background on you.
Yeah, so my situation was a little bit different than most. I got pregnant at 17 and had her at 18. My daughter was actually planned by me and my husband. We had got married the summer that we were 17 years old for other reasons that we got married very young. And we were already on our own. We both had full-time jobs and everything like that. And we both had gone online for schooling. That way we could have a full-time job to be able to live on our own. And at that point we were just talking. We were like, all right, like, do we want a baby now or do we want to wait until we're older? And we just decided to start trying, and we had a baby, and we're actually currently trying for our second one.
Amazing. That is definitely unique, and there's tons of questions from that for sure. But yeah, no, amazing. You seem happy anyway. And then we've got Shan.
I'm Shan. I'm 28. I fell pregnant at 16. I had my son just before I was 17. It was crazy because he was slightly planned as well, a bit like Charity.
Yeah.
Because I unfortunately fell pregnant at 15 and had a miscarriage. So having a miscarriage so late in my pregnancy, which was like 5 months gone, I was really looking forward to it all and everything. And I had a great support from my mum and stuff, because my mum was actually a young mum as well.
Stop.
So, I know. So, you know, he was actually planned. And yeah, like going forward, it has made me mature into the person that I am today. And I don't think I would change it for the world. But yeah, that's basically a little bit of me until we get into it.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I think a pressing question for anyone really is, you first find out, that planned or not. What's some of the mind at that time?
Say that again.
Like, what's some of the things that went through your head at that time when you found out? Oh my gosh! Like,
when I was planning him?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the straw of having a miscarriage so late, it was like, and his mum as well at the time was pregnant as well, so she just gave birth. So seeing her newborn was like heartbreaking, because it was like, so it made me more determined to, but it wouldn't say more determined, I would say like it made me feel like, like I kind of want to try and have another baby.
Yeah.
So that's why obviously he was planned and we went ahead, and I'm not with him now, but I got a blessing out of it at the end of the day. But I don't know, I was too young, I suppose, to say to plan him properly. If I wanted to rewrite my life again, it would be different.
So guys, is this an actual thing? Obviously, being in your sort of teenage years, and a lot of the times, teenagers don't even know what they want, let alone make such a big. So, like, for you, like at that time, did you 100% believe you wanted a child, or obviously because you planned and you kept it, whether or not it was planned or unplanned? The fact that you went ahead and had the baby, you would have definitely been told, are you sure you're not too young? Like, you're throwing your life away, that sort of thing.
You know what? I think it depends on like different people, because
I agree.
Yeah.
How can I put it? It's like, not saying you don't have anything to live for, but it gives you an extra addition to your life as well.
Yeah.
As well, that's another way of
Did
seeing
you come
it.
across? Did you come across? Did you get told that at any stage? Like, are you sure you're only 19? Are you sure you want to have a baby?
Yeah, not in those exact words, but like when that's what someone's alluding to. So it was a lot of like my social group, like a lot of my friends as well that was in college at the time, and as well like people was going out a lot, and there was nights I said to myself, or I said to them actually, no, I can't go, or I can't spend this with you or whatever, because I was thinking of something else. So then people that didn't understand was like, okay, you're gonna be like this from now on, or things are gonna be like that. So yeah, it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot of people tell me that, like, it was not basically you're throwing your life away. It was, you do realize you never get to be a kid again. You won't get to go out and like party with all your friends because that's where they're at in their stage of life. And I understand that, but I don't think I necessarily understood how lonely being a young mom was, because there is no one else like that's close to my age that is at the stage in life that I am today.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny as well? Like, personally, I found that when you like kind of have to grow up quickly, you do get to a point where you're like, okay, you know, you can relax a little bit. But at that point, that's when everyone else is like, okay, I'm gonna have a child now. So then everyone else at a different stage, and you're like, okay, you sort of got there before them, if that makes sense. So like, a lot of my friends that had kids young in their mid-20s, they seem to like be happy now, enjoying life. But some people as well, depending on the situation, might be going through that stage later on.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to enjoy it, if that makes sense.
So, because again, I remember when my gran said to me, she said, a lot back in her day, a lot of her I guess people she grew up with actually got married and had kids young. And when I sort of went through and said to, obviously at the age of 18, here is my son at the age of 18, and yes, I am planning on getting married young, and yes, I want kids young, to sort of do it that way around, and then obviously live out your sort of more adult years with kids. She was all up for it, but then I did have other individuals who basically said, yeah, listen, there is no time like your teens and your 20s, like you should give that up for a kid. And I mean, fast forward all these years, it's like 100%. People say you're going to miss out. I'm just wondering what have I really missed out?
Exactly. You haven't missed out nothing.
Made it better.
I think you sort of make up for it as time goes by as well.
Yeah. But you do get time off. You do get nights off, and you just, whatever you want to do with it, you can do with it.
The question, obviously, all your scenarios are slightly different, right? But given, like, knowing what you know now in your own circumstances, if I guess if your own children or family, whatever it is, came to you and said, listen, at the age of 16, I'm planning on having a child, would your response be different?
I will be telling her, like, or whoever, I'll be telling them no. Like, not no, but the advice would just be a bit more wide.
Yeah, literally, and make sure it's with the right person, because it's more than likely not.
Yeah. It's only because, obviously, speaking of myself, I didn't really have like cousins who could advise me growing up. It was just literally me and my brother. Yeah. So I think if I had the right support behind me, I think I wouldn't have got pregnant so young. I was in a very toxic relationship, and it was like I was isolated, just him. So when we obviously found out we were pregnant, it was like I was stuck with him anyway. So I was like, like, let's just do it. It was just me and him. I had no friends, I didn't have anything, so it was like, might as well.
Yeah.
I was happy anyway. I always wanted a baby.
Yeah. And obviously with you, Charity, like you already married at that stage.
I was, my circumstance of getting married young is very different. So I moved to Washington State from Alabama when I was in 7th grade, and I met my now husband, and we started dating in 8th grade. And so we were together 3 years, and my mom was very abusive and literally crazy.
Your mom was abusive?
My mom was abusive, yes.
Oh.
And so my husband's stepmother, was trying to help in any way possible to get me out of the situation that I was in. And my mom finally agreed to let me live with them until she realized she would get all the money she had for me taken away. And so she tried to force me to move back to Alabama with her. So I got married before she had the chance to take me back.
Oh, wow.
Because in the United States, if you get married, it immediately emancipates you and makes you a legal adult. So that's kind of the route that we took to make it where I didn't have to go back with my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. At least you're happy with him though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
So we were actually planning on getting married when we turned 18 after we graduated anyways. We just kind of bumped it up a year and a half.
Yeah.
Aw.
And then you had your baby at what age?
I got pregnant at 17 and I had her at 18.
Okay. And you're now 19.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of where we're at now, we now have kids, and we've now seen sort of how we were as teenage parents compared to how we are now. Would you look back at sort of like, even if it was a couple of years ago, and just say, like, what was I didn't actually, how did I even make it through that, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't even look after myself. Like, I don't understand how I've done it.
So how did you make it through? Like, what was it? Was it support from family? Did you just wing it? Like, did you Google a lot of stuff?
I think it was definitely support from like family that helped me. Like my mum and my sister, they helped me a lot. I had them call out my stepsister. And I just it kind of just kicked in. They say like your mother's instinct just like kicks in, and it actually does.
It does.
Like you just know what you're doing straight away, and it's crazy. I never thought it was possible.
Yeah, it's true.
And my ex's mum was very, very helpful actually. If I ever needed anything, she would just like give me advice.
Yeah. I mean, it's different. So I don't know, Dominic, do you think it's different for father than it is sort of mother at that age, those sort of teenage years, to accept, you know, you're going to become sort of a teenage parent? Like,
Yeah, I think for me personally, it was like half the sort of battle at the beginning was like people's eyes being on me straight away. Like, okay, so what you gonna do? I think part of me wanted to be like happy and show it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I knew that, say my mum especially, like, oh, what you gonna do? As in, not only like what am I gonna do in terms of money, just life in general, like where you gonna live, and like how you gonna provide and stuff like that too. Like, I remember my stepdad wasn't really happy at the beginning, and he just gave me the realest talk ever. But then, yeah, it was sort of like I wanted to be happy, but at the same time, I felt like I had the whole world looking at me as well. So then I added like another like part of the pressure, and also, so I don't know if I'm explaining it right. I just think like from a man's point of view, being at that age, it's like, okay, cool. So yeah, you're gonna be a dad, but at the same time, it's like, you know, a lot of times people did expect you to sort of maybe fail being young as well. But one other thing that I felt was interesting was like a lot of people, I had help from family, but it's help like them taking over from you. Whereas like you also need just time to make mistakes as well, for you to like learn. So it's that sort of like having to prove yourself extra.
No, I think 100%. It's what's really interesting is when people expect you to fail because you are so young. And again, I think it's a difference between the core and the non that you've got sort of in your circle. Because I definitely had individuals as well who you know kind of said, well, let's see how long you'll last, you know. Because again, you kind of it's reasonable statement to make that, you know, you being so young, someone else, and you're just learning to take care of yourself. But if you become a parent, anyway, good ones anyway, something does kick in, and you automatically just do what you have to do, you know, and you do it well. So in terms of, I guess, is there a difference between, and I guess we can look at our kids and fast forward the years to come, your daughter coming home and saying, you know, I'm pregnant at 16, then it is
Never gonna happen.
like,
I
or
think there is.
your son saying, Dad, I've got someone else pregnant. Is there a difference between those?
I definitely think so.
Mm-hmm.
The chance that the boy could not want to be involved at that age, and I feel as a mother, you'd have to obviously make sure that they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If my son came home and was like,
not only that, Charlotte, but if my son got a girl pregnant, I want to know if that girl telling the truth.
you just never know, do you?
Yeah.
Like, is she just trying to keep you, or like?
Yeah, like she might be like, oh, your family's got a bit of money, you know. You never know.
Exactly.
You know what? When someone says it like that, I can sort of understand to some degree, like the disappointment, or like what like the parents might think straight away.
Yeah.
When you think about, okay, your children wants to say that they're pregnant too, like what are you gonna think, innit?
Yeah. No, it's a massive. I think that's a massive question. But we got our final guest joining us. Welcome.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry, fellas. My phone died, but I got it charged now. Thank you for having me, even though I'm extremely late.
No. Thanks a lot for passing through. We're literally in the midst of it, just talking about obviously having gone through having kids in our teens, and if we had to fast forward the years, and our sort of children come home and say, "Mom, Dad, you know, I'm 16, and yeah, I'm." Either your daughter saying that I'm pregnant, or your son saying I've gotten someone else is pregnant. So it's like we're kind of looking at first of all, is there a difference between you know, your daughter saying that she's pregnant and your son saying that he got someone else pregnant? Is there a difference?
For me, and I have girls and boys. I don't see a difference. I think there'll be a difference, especially here in the U.S., on how we have to handle it. The courts are very in favor of the woman, so I'd have to try to make sure he gets his rights and right away for that. Whereas, you know, for my daughter, you know, it wouldn't be so much of a blitz of getting paperwork done. It's just more working on getting ready for the baby.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be on her baby daddy to get his paperwork in and rights. But my first reaction would be like, "Aren't you? How stupid are like you lived through this? You lived through this. You're gonna put your own child through the same thing. God, you learn nothing from being a teenage child."
Yeah. So what's your experience of being a sort of teen dad?
Besides the obvious, like it kind of sucked at times, but you know, it's one of the most rewarding things that I've done, not ever done.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing. It was rough. I was still in high school. I was boxing, but amateur, obviously. And you know, I just had to thank God for my mother, who she didn't like take over and do everything for me, but she made me do everything I needed to do. She took me to the when the baby was born, like she took me and made me use my own money. She didn't give me the money to go buy the clothes and buy all the stuff. So that way my daughter had that stability on my side. And so I really thank her for that. You know, I probably would have just played it by ear, you know what I mean? But she made me have a plan. So that was definitely a big help. And then, you know, me and my daughter's mother, we were good. We are still good. But we grew up with our kid, you know. So that was kind of, my daughter saw all kinds of different sides of me. Because, you know, again, 16, I was going through phases, and she sat there and watched that, you know, even the womanizing, which I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
But I use that as a lesson. Was like, look, you saw the females I would have come and go. Like, don't ever be that. Don't do that. And I can tell you why I picked them. It wasn't because they were smart or this. It was the insecurities. And I try to put on game, you know, not while I was still womanizing, but just giving her lessons of the past and just saying like, look, baby girl, I would like to say I hope you find somebody like me, but honestly, you're better. You deserve someone better than me, and I hope you can see why. Like, don't glorify none of them. In fact,
How old's your oldest?
well, she's 18 now.
Okay.
She's a kid. She's not doing what I want her to do, obviously, but she's still a much better kid than I was at 18. She's not pregnant. She ain't had no baby yet. She graduated high school with a college degree.
Yeah.
So she's doing good. Yeah, so she, I would say, is a success story, but she's just 18, so we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, is it definitely if we had individuals in our lives at the age of, the 16, 17, 18, kind of, whispering in our ears to sort of wait a little while, do you think it would have made a difference to you? Like, did any of you ever wanted to have kids young, or was it,
I did.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really see my life. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do now, so.
I think mine, why I wanted to have kids, was more of I didn't have really much of a family, I would say, and so I wanted to give myself that family, like someone to always be there type of thing.
Yeah.
I think if I would have had like a mother figure that wasn't crazy in my life, or like an actual father in my life, it probably would have been different.
Hey, and I can feel you on that, because I didn't have my father in my life, so I always wanted kids because I always wanted to be a father in a sense and give them what I didn't. I didn't want no kid at 16. I thought I was gonna be, balling with my mansion and start dropping babies. But I always did want a lot of kids. And then I guess it's good that I got started early, because by the time they're grown, I can, still...
Hey, yeah, man. Party.
I mean,
it's like the meme that's up everywhere saying that all my friends like wanting to have kids in their 30s. There's me at 38 sitting on a yacht sending them pictures because my kids are grown.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean it's definitely it definitely had its hard times.
I'm still gonna get him a drink.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it definitely had its sort of being a young parent at times, because we kind of look back now and go, like, you thought you knew but you didn't. Certain things you thought you knew what you were doing, and you sort of watch as your second child sort of comes along, and you're like, boy, you kind of deal with that differently now, because of course, a lot of the times it's to do with experience, it's to do with age and so forth. But I think as long as you've got at least some form of support system, but in terms of people who haven't, like, I think that's where a lot of the difficulty lies, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's why I feel like it takes a village, because not everybody has that support system. And I do try to get, I've had some programs in my hometown and it was geared towards dads, because dads get overlooked and underappreciated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we also get a bad rap because of all the bad dads, So I wanted to bring something that brought some good dads together that can help each other. And just if you don't have a support system, we can try to be that. Like, yo, you need me to pick your kid up for soccer, or, carpooling, just the little things, could go a big way.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so let's if we get real for a second, right? We're talking about obviously we all I hope anyway, we're happy with the decision that we've made to keep our baby at the ages that we had them. Like, obviously, for individuals, you might have come across individuals or heard stories about individuals who have decided not to found out that they're pregnant at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19 and gone, oh my gosh, I can't do this, like, if you could say to that individual anything to change their mind, would you? And what would that be?
So what's the question?
So, like, if you found out that someone at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever the age is, right, found out that they're pregnant or they got someone pregnant, but they decided not to keep the baby. Knowing what you know now at the age, you know, obviously you had your kids at whatever age, what would you tell that individual now? Like, would you even not even, would you tell them something to change their mind?
Yeah.
It's a hard one though.
Yeah, I would. You think my cousin can come to me at 18 and tell me she's pregnant or something? No. You need to do your study. I feel like, do you know what? Because I feel like she will have me to lean back on, whereas most people didn't have that support. So she come to me at 17, 16. Funny enough, I had a scenario the other day, but we're live, so I'm not going to go into names, but I had a scenario the other day, and she told me something confidential, and she was 15, and she said, you know, she had to get rid of it and whatever. And I said, you know what? I said, you've made the right choice because you're still young. I said, you will still have opportunities in the future. You're still young. You still have multiple opportunities to, you know, have children when you get a bit older. But yeah, I would definitely advise them not to have children so young. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's just about the support.
Yeah, it's about what they want as well, isn't it? If they've already made up a decision and why. Because I know somebody that came to me for advice, but she told me how her and her boyfriend were, how her and her partner were, and they were extremely toxic and like they just shouldn't have been together. So I said, do whatever you would like, but I can tell you now that he's not going to be there for you. I said, by the way,
like
he's
you can give that advice.
I mean, that's
you, isn't it?
I mean, that's another thing, isn't it? It's like, and this is why I asked the question earlier, because so I've got one daughter, and I'm just thinking, fast forward, she's now 6, but let's say fast forward 30 years, she can have a kid when she's 36, I don't mind. So let's fast forward 30 years time, right? And she's like, you know, Dad, I'm pregnant. For me, it's different. I know it shouldn't, but it's different if she said that she's pregnant, and my son's saying that he's gotten someone else pregnant, right? Because instantly, regardless, majority of the time, if anything happens in a relationship and you have to split, you know, the mother end up sort of, you know, having a child. And if you take that into consideration, and you kind of foresee, because as you said, as one of you mentioned before, you know, in a relation, once you decide to have a child, and you know, no one's bound to stay together forever. You know, people can make their choices to separate at any moment, and you kind of have an easier role, I say, in that scenario, if that makes sense.
Who does?
The dads.
Yeah.
But that's my personal view.
It's definitely.
Sorry?
I agree.
Definitely.
You know, so yeah, I could see. I think I'd react differently if my daughter came home pregnant as opposed to
your son.
Because I just feel like the hardship a lot is on sort of the girl's sort of side.
Yeah.
Not always, but I think
my opinion on that is well, one, talking to a female as a man, it's hard for me to sit there and tell her what she should do regarding the baby. All I can tell is just my experience, right? It's like, look, I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know your situation. You know, it could be a really bad situation that anybody's like, nah, you should get rid of that. But my experience with my daughter is, you know, she just gave me so much joy, and really lightweight saved my life, because you know, I was doing all kinds of rough stuff in selling drugs, robbing people.
Hey, been there. I can relate.
Yeah.
When I had my daughter, it was like, all right, look, I got somebody that I can't I gotta be here for.
Yeah.
It's you know, I just had to get my experience, but I can't tell a woman what to do with her body. It's not about my beliefs. It's about her situation and what she can do with that baby. I'm trying to say, babies are a gift, they're a blessing, and I know it's rough, and dudes, we get it easy, so to speak. Men that want to be in their kids' lives, and if they have a baby mother that doesn't want them in their lives, which I do have. You know, it's pretty much almost impossible for me to get with my son where I want to be.
Yeah.
It would have been much easier, technically, for me just to walk away and not have anything to do, which is messed up. I don't think the system should let it be so easy. For it shouldn't be so easy to walk away, and it shouldn't be so hard to stay.
Yeah.
Is how I feel for the men. You know, I think that I don't know what the government can do about that, but it should be hard for men to just walk away and say I have nothing to do with it. Like, all right, then fine. I know we have to pay child support, and then there's ways to get away from that, but I don't know what the answer is, but I know what the problem is.
And that's another sort of big topic, isn't it? It's like if two individuals decide at the age of, we're talking about being sort of parents, at that point, whether or not it's planned or not, the responsibility surely should be the same, right? But it's mainly not. And I've personally met people who've just gone like, I've got someone pregnant or whatever it is, but I'm not there because they've either got a relationship or they're just not interested in being a dad. And I just kind of just think, like, at what point does an individual think, it's acceptable to do that at any age?
My father was old when he had me and walked away, so it wasn't like he was young.
Yeah,
I don't even know who my biological dad is, so that could have been my mom's fault. It could have been his. I don't even know on that situation. I just think it's too easy to get someone pregnant and too easy to leave.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, but isn't it crazy? It's like the most simplest sort of act there is, which is having sex, can create such a massive, life changing experience. So it's like the most simplest, the most simplest act, and you have something so.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
But when I had the talk with my daughter, when she was about to go to high school, she was like 12, 13. I gave her the whole sex talk. I put it to her like this. I was like, you know what? The thing about sex, it's probably the best feeling that you can naturally have without, doing drugs or something. I was like, it's probably the best feeling that you could ever feel, right? And then the orgasm, right? That's people will kill for some of these feelings like this. But there's a reason for it. It's such a great feeling because it's a miracle that's happening in the end process of pregnancy. That's the only reason why you're gonna have sex. It's not for fun. It's not recreation. It's to make babies. So, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you sex is bad, sex is evil, because it's not. It's a beautiful thing. Like when two people can strip down and just kind of be feral and vulnerable, it's a beautiful thing. But the reason why it's so beautiful is because there's a creation that's in the process. Yeah, the baby's coming. So I was telling her, I was like, look, don't even get started. Because like once you get the taste, there's no going back. You know what I mean? It's like tasting human meat, I don't know, tasting blood for the first time. Like you smell it. And I was like, so if you're not ready to possibly be pregnant or even think about abortions or what is it called? Birth control, none of that. Like just stay away.
Stay away. So who has so are you the only one that has a child in how old's your daughter again, Dominic?
8.
8 years old, okay. Right. So I guess your talk is kind of coming up.
It's coming.
I don't want it to come up. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah. Like
I feel like it's different to do it to a girl and a boy, isn't it, as well?
You think?
It is. It was
I
my
think
son's
the
talk.
talk's
It was
different.
like same thing, but I was like, you can't be out here being a little slut, boy. You're good looking. Like you're good looking, and they're gonna want you, and it's gonna be easy for you. So you gotta have the responsibility of a good looking man to pick and choose. Because if you lay with somebody, and I kind of use his life as an example, me and his mother are together, that kind of hurts me. So I was like, you should find somebody you love before you lay with, because a baby out of wedlock and in the separate homes means more strife for that baby. Like your life.
Mhm.
Yeah. How old's your son?
He's 13 now.
Okay. Because so
I got a squad, y'all.
yeah, I mean my son's 12, but that in-depth conversation. That in-depth conversation is a lot easier to have, I think, with him
Big time.
than I would my daughter, for sure.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure. Again, it's weird, isn't it? Because I don't know if you guys, if you did at your sort of early sort of teenage or whatever, had your parents or an individual come and sort of sit down and talk to you about stuff. I didn't, so I'm not sure if you did.
No, I had to talk.
That's
No.
why I ended up in this position in the
Right? Porno taught me all I knew about sex. Which is bad idea. It's a bad way to learn. It's the worst way to learn. You don't know what you're doing.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, in my experience, I had my dad who did. I think I was 15, and he said to me, like, his honest talk was, make sure that you wear a condom and she has a pill.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just saying it for the sake of it. So he didn't really go into depth. But I think at a certain age, you sort of have an idea, but you don't understand.
Yeah.
As well. It's another thing.
Yeah.
But some kids, it's like when you really break everything down to them, it's like they might want to go out there and start trying this and that and see what the experience is like. So it might not be off-putting for everybody.
Yeah. But I feel like it's slightly different now as well. And I could completely be wrong, but I feel like in terms of, you know, what we knew or what I knew back when I was sort of 11, 12, in terms of sex, in terms of where babies came from and babies and just in general, was very, very limited. And there either was like from a scene watching a movie or, you know, being inquisitive and looking in a Quicker magazine in the shop or whatever it was, right? It was like really brief. But I feel like now being 11, 12, 13, you know, they probably, I feel like if I really had to sit down with my son, he'll be like, I already know that. Like, yeah, just,
of course.
You know, let's talk more advanced stuff. Like, what's this sort of basic thing you're talking about? Because somehow they know.
Crazy now, isn't it?
They do.
Scary.
It's like,
I have a little brother who's 9, and it's come up, and it's like, how do you even know this? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's not. So we're talking about sort of being teenage parents. So we're not saying it's a bad thing, or we're saying it's like
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
I don't think I would ever tell someone it's a bad thing.
No.
Depends. It's down to your mentality.
Yeah.
Just the advice would be different that I'm giving.
Hey, it's not okay. So it's not a bad thing, but I know individuals who are 15, 16 who have spoken about, you know, wanting a child, and I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking,
it sounds bad, doesn't it?
No, not as Dominic was saying. I think it depends on the person. Like, you can look at an individual and automatically think, don't do it. Like, you are ready.
Literally.
I was a 15-year-old.
Like, you're not ready for what's coming. Like, you think you're ready, but you know, you can just tell. I'm not saying that you have to be like
Charlotte said, they might just have the mother instinct. Like, they might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody ever.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
I mean, some books you
some books are just transparent. They're just.
I think, I don't know. For like my opinion on it, I don't think there's necessarily an age stamp to become a parent, male or female. I think it's definitely like a maturity thing. And if you are mature enough to know that it means it's a financial stable relationship, being stable, you being able to provide a roof over its head, not your parents' roof, but your roof. And then I think that's kind of where it falls under.
Yeah,
because like I said, my situation was a lot different. Yeah, I was 17, but I was already providing for myself and married.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
again.
the thing.
Now, if my little sister came up to me and was like, I want to try for a baby, I'd be like, you haven't even had a job and you're 17, so how about no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, and that's what I mean about sort of that advice that you give, isn't it? Like you look at an individual and you kind of course, you can't stop someone from doing whatever they want to do, but you do kind of say, listen, if I was you, like,
Yeah.
sure that you have these particular boxes, boxes checked. You know, I don't want to make out like it's a walk in the park. I don't want to make out like it's just all rainbows and butterflies, because there was definitely some struggles being sort of a teenage dad, because again, like this is the road that you're sort of getting to know yourself as it is, you know, getting to know what it is that you like as a person, and sort of the direction that you want to take your life, let alone sort of take another human being down as well. So I think it is definitely to do with mentality for sure, because, you know, Charity being 17 years old and deciding fine, yeah, we're gonna, you know, we're married, we're gonna have a baby. That's not all 17 at all.
Yeah, definitely not.
And again, you can get 30-year-olds who aren't even ready, who you'll say, listen, you're not ready for a child yet. Again, it's the whole mentality.
They're taking advice off the young people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My husband has an older brother, and he just got engaged and came up to us asking, like, how do I know I'm ready for a child? Like you know, if you're having to
wouldn't even have to ask the question.
maybe not yet.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah.
But you know
And
what?
it's
It's funny
such
as well,
change.
because I've got a few friends in their 30s that because they haven't had a child yet, you know, at that age, they're like, how do I know I'm ready? I'm waiting for the right time. But I think you get to a stage where you might ready, like mentally, you might be ready, but or you might be able to deal with it, or maybe you're like married and stuff, and you settled and you've got everything in place.
Yeah.
But you're thinking, okay, I can't financially support. But you might, if you put your mind to it, I guess probably you might be able to.
Yeah.
But there's also the element of fear, I guess, as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as far as human beings go, you know, we survive. You know, we do have instincts to sort of survive when we're under pressure, and I think for those who haven't, you know, who didn't plan on having a baby at the age of 16, 17, 18, but you so happen to be in that situation. I think, you know, I've definitely come across some really, really amazing parents who were parents at the age of you know, 16, 17, 18. And you've got to tip your hat off and just say, listen, you did what you had to do, and you've done it well, you know. So again, it is that thing of being in that situation and I guess making it work. So what we'll do is, if we have some closing remarks in terms of, like, I guess some advice for anyone who would be watching, who might be thinking, well, either one or two things: either, you know, they've always wanted to have kids young. You know, what would your advice be for them? Or if they are in this position of, oh my gosh, I'm 15 or 16 or 14 or whatever the age is, you know, and I'm now finding myself in this predicament or in this situation where I'm having a baby or my partner is, you know, sort of what would your advice be for individuals? So as you want to, in any particular order, yeah, just go ahead.
Who wants to go?
I thought someone was speaking. Just make sure it's with the right person. Like, you always think it's the right person, though, don't you, at the time? So there's no point in saying it.
Yeah.
You always think it's the right person, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And I also think you can do anything if you put your mind to it. So if you're looking at yourself like, you know, I'm pregnant and I don't know what to do, but I want to give it a shot. Like, if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. And like, there will always, even if it's not your family per se, there will always be people to support you
100%.
and like help you out.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you might lose friends. Like, everyone says you lose friends, but you also gain, like, true friends.
Do you think
Yeah,
you lost? Did you
I
lose?
have literally like one friend, and she's with me like 24/7. Her and her boyfriend are constantly with me in Locky, and we're doing things together. And she's been my friend since secondary school, and that's all that matters. I only need that one friend.
So do you genuinely think you would lose, or you have lost friends?
Well, I would say I did lose friends, but it's because I was busy. So I was busy and I don't know how to explain it. But like I said, my friend Sasha, she makes a massive effort to see me and Lockie. So we've kept in contact.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I definitely lost
now.
friends.
Yeah, friends.
And it's
I
not
think
just through having a baby, it's through like being in a serious relationship as well. You lose time.
Yeah.
And therefore you lose friends and stuff like that.
Mine was definitely more of they were asking me to go out and party, do drugs, get drunk, and I was pregnant, and I was like, yeah, no, I would rather stay home and eat my Oreos and watch some TV.
Literally.
So
I'd rather do that now.
And then now it's like they're asking me to go out, and it's like, yeah, cool, we can go like get a coffee or something, but I have Brindley with me, and they're like, oh, like I was thinking maybe we could go to a party. It's like, nope, because I'm not bringing my kid to that, and I'm not punting my kid off on someone else to go to a party.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've realized like my true friends like understand that, and I have like
100%.
2, and I wouldn't trade those 2 for the world. And I would rather have those than all the big ones. So
100%. Same as me.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing, isn't it? Like when you do realize, oh, so you can't hang out no more, and then you don't get the phone calls anymore. You don't get anymore. And then you're right. You do lose people because of the sorry, I'm unavailable. But it's not like you haven't got a legitimate reason, is it?
I think that's when things really sink in as well.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? When you can't just go out every Friday night when your friends are all going out.
Yeah.
Like,
every weekend.
You naturally
like,
think to yourself, okay, why have I said no to something that I normally say yes to? And then you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to have a child maybe like a couple months or weeks away. It's just like, okay, it's getting real now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Like, and it's fast forward. It's the same now. You know, it's like, okay, it's Friday night. You know, your friends without kids would be like, okay, let's do something, and you're like, right, so I've got to find a babysitter. Like, you know, whether it's your mom, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friend, whoever it is, it's long-winded. It's not just the same as like, hop in the car and off you go, you know. You can't just say, oh yeah, do you want to come out tomorrow night, because you got to make
and even as like a single mum, obviously he goes to his dad's on Saturday night. I still don't even want to go out. I go out every so often, but most of the time I want to stay at home. I want to like work on my house. I want to, do you know what I mean? Like clean my house. And do stuff like that. I just want to spend all day and night chilling out.
Have some peace and quiet for sure.
Yeah, literally. I want that one night just to have like a pamper night and just chill out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Let's continue with the advices then. What other advice are we giving individuals who find themselves in predicament like you did? You know, in your teen years, 16.
I would tell them mostly like, you know what's best for you, or maybe you don't, but it seems scary, and you're gonna end up doing what you want to do, but just understand and know that at the end of the day, it's not that bad. It might suck at first, but you get used to it. Everything that you go through, you're getting used to. These kids have a schedule that you get used to. You know about time they're hungry. You know about time they gotta, get tired, and you can make your life around that schedule, and you'll just get used to it.
Becomes routine.
Exactly. So if they're really scared and they're talking about they want to go ahead, get rid of the child or whatnot, and then me personally, I'm not for abortions, but like I said, I can't tell no woman what to do with her body. I guess I'm a pro-choice, even though my choice is not to have an abortion, right? So I was just trying to let them know, like, it is gonna suck. You're gonna lose some sleep. You're gonna lose some friends. You're gonna lose
Oh,
some
yeah.
stuff. But what you gain though, it's a little you.
A
And
life
then,
of
Yeah.
blessing.
if you like
Love.
dogs, like, if you like pets, this is like the ultimate pet. You can train this little sucker to do whatever you want. Ninja
I'm not gonna lie, a dog's a bit easier.
Dogs are easier, but
My
you don't
dog's a
have
lot
the
easier.
capabilities of a kid. A kid, like I said, you can make that kid a ninja if you want to. It's it's all up to how you want to shape it. So what you gain is more than what you ever will lose.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
They're your best friend, aren't they? So
Yeah.
you don't need anyone else.
That's
They
good
are.
advice.
They are. And like
That's
best
good
friends, we fight, and I don't like them sometimes, but I always love them.
How I feel about my husband.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
You know what's funny as well? I've had friends that ask me for my advice, but they've said things like, I'm thinking of one like female friend that said, "Oh, I wanna have an abortion," and like obviously I can't comment, but my thing was, okay, think about, say 5 years from now, how you're gonna feel about the decision, and then some people might stop and think, "Oh, actually, I might regret it," and if you think you might regret it, then I don't think it's my opinion. I don't think it's worth going through with. You might want to look at it and rethink it.
Yeah.
But then everyone's situation is a bit different.
No,
Yeah,
100%.
Like I know myself, if I was to talk to my younger self,
because
I'd
I was
regret
gonna
it if I
touch
was
on
to
that
say,
one
okay, I
because
don't want.
everyone's
My daughter
different
brings me so
though.
much joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dominic, like everyone's different, like you said in it, everyone's different because I've lost, I've got an abortion, I've had, and then I've had again. So I've been through it all, kind of thing. So I can look at it as every aspect, really.
Yeah. Again, it is all situation based, isn't it? It's you are where you are at a particular time. You make decisions that at the time you see as the best decision. And yeah, I mean, if you're an individual, I think when it comes to having a child or not having a child, it's different to, like, I don't know, like deciding to cross the road or not cross the road, deciding to take the motorway or the back road. It's on hard decisions. So I think anyone that goes through that process would definitely have to, be
It's life changing.
Yeah, 100%. They'll have.
It's not just like an easy decision to make.
That it wouldn't have been an easy decision to either have a child or not have a child. It's a very thought through process. Either way.
100%.
So yeah.
Shanji, I feel like you're probably the best person to talk to for advice because you have experienced both sides of it. So you would probably be the best person to come to ask for some advice about that.
It's being real, isn't it? It's the realness of it. It's the realness of it, and it's, again, like a lot of people said to me, oh, they felt shame, sort of going to parents at the age of 15 and saying, oh, I'm pregnant. So the easiest would be to just go and have an abortion.
You should always just talk to your parents.
And again, but it is that whole comfortability of, like, do you feel comfortable? Have you been made to feel comfortable? That you can.
With me, before I even found out I was pregnant, my mum and my stepdad were both saying, oh, a baby would be so bad for you right now. You're really not in like the right situation, because we were struggling financially. And they kept saying, like, every time I saw them, like, oh, you really don't want a baby yet. It's way too soon. And then obviously I went up to them and told them, and they were just over the moon, like really, really happy.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, I mean, did we all give our little 2 pence?
I believe so.
I don't really have no advice to really give someone, really. I just follow your instinct, follow your gut. Just
100%.
go with, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just follow your heart, follow your gut. I don't know. I don't really have much to give to someone.
But Sam, that from you and your experience from you, that would mean a lot, because I'm like,
I can't hear you good.
That would mean a lot, because coming from me, say just follow your heart, right? Well, I'm a man. and I didn't have to push out no children. You know what I mean? I just got to make them, which is pretty easy and fun.
Yeah.
But taking care of the child later, yeah, that was the struggle and this, that. But, you know, you guys got to carry that baby, make the baby. Your body gets so morphed in this, that, and the third. And so there's more to it from your standpoint than it is from mine. For me, I'm like, nah, my baby, you know, I'm going to keep making more babies because again, I don't have to, you know what I mean? I can keep my figure. You know, my body doesn't change. My, you know, all that, the hormones in my body.
Hey, I still got my figure. Don't let me stand up.
I'm not. You all look good. Don't get me wrong. You all look good. The bounce back was right, but I'm just saying, you know, the chemical balance to have is, you know, postpartum depression is a real thing. It's because the chemicals are wrong. So that's a big advice from you.
It's a lot, like it is a lot. The struggle, like reflecting on what I personally went through, the struggle was so real. So it is hard, but at the same time, my advice, if anyone, it's like I said, it was a family, a friend, relative, anyone someone off the street coming to me for advice, I would just say follow your gut, follow your instinct, but at the same time I would advise them it's going to be extremely hard, and I'll give them a bit of my scenario, what I went through, you know, support either way. I don't know if you've got support at home or friends or whatever, but there's support either way. You get support if you was to have an abortion or whatever, and hopefully you get support after, because not only through family and friends, you've got certain helplines as well that you can call up, and it depends how young you are, like, you know, baby groups. That I went to young mum baby groups and stuff like that. I didn't have a family support with my family. I had them, so it was all like baby mummy groups and stuff like I went to, and that's where I mainly got my advice from, and you know, things, and that's what I would just say. Yeah.
Always follow your gut with anything. Your gut is always right, always.
Well, with women anyway.
Men's gut are tainted.
We've got that gift.
We got this thing out there that taints our gut a little bit.
You know what? I think as well, every man has that element of fear as well, like what's next? Because we don't go through them changes also. It's like, damn, like, at least I could talk to myself as well, like what the hell is going to happen now in a couple of months' time. But if you have in your gut as well, you know what, I can do this, then that's also another gut feeling to follow too.
Is it true? Like, Dominic, is different for you now that you're obviously you've got a newborn on the way? Is it different this time round to, like, say, you know, when you were 19 expecting a baby? Or are you still panicking the same?
No, I think my panic's a bit different now, but it's like I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning I was like, okay, well, been there, done that. But then until they started to pass, I was like, okay, it's not the same experience. But I think, even till now, I'm always gonna have a little bit of, okay, what's gonna happen? Because realistically, you never know. But I'm just like, you know, holding on to that bit of me saying, nah, you know what, like, that's gonna be my child that I'm gonna bring into the world anyway. So I'll just use everything that I've gained along the way. Because I always say, like, me and my daughter grew up together. But at this time around, it's like, okay, I'm grown up having a child, if that makes sense. It's like all the experiences, even the mistakes and everything. Obviously, everyone's going to make mistakes along the way anyway, but it's like, those are there for you to learn from as well. And I'm still going to make mistakes coming up as well. That's just the reality of it.
Of course.
But, you know, it's just that my mindset is a bit more trained compared to before as well, you know?
But it's good. You definitely take all the experience from 8 years ago and take it into this one. So again, congratulations, and I'm pretty
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure this time around is going to be just as happy,
eventful,
and just all sorts of emotions all at once. Because it is, isn't it? It's a good experience, and I think my advice for people is, you know, it's a fantastic, as you use the word miracle, to definitely bring forth life at any age. It's just making sure 100%, you know, even before you even get to that stage, you know, And we were talking about sort of sex earlier, and it's like, even before you even get to that stage, it's just knowing, boy, if I'm ever in this situation, like, am I ready for this? You know, am I ready for this one? And if not, then you got to definitely be conscious of the decisions that you make leading up to that. But if you are in that situation where it's like, gosh, I found out today or yesterday or whatever it is that, you know, I'm having a baby or my girlfriend's having a baby or some girl that I met or whatever it is, it's like, you've got to deal with the situation. I feel like you got to deal with the situation as it arises, you know. I think we're amazing creatures in terms of, like, we can deal with much more than we think we can. You guys have said along the way, you'll definitely meet people, you'll meet friends, you'll meet you know, individuals who you'll just be like, boy, I'm glad I met you, because you definitely need that support. So I think everyone definitely needs support, and when it comes along and you go and find it, it's definitely going to be there. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good experience. It's been a good experience being a young dad. As been, you know, I've got a near enough 2-year-old, and for me, it's all been the same. It's the same sleepless nights. It's the same. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right or if I am, because every baby's different, isn't it?
Exactly.
So every experience is going to be different. But it's enjoyable. At the end of the day, it's enjoyable. It's your legacy, and what you put into a child is what you get out as well. So
100%.
you know,
Wait till they become teenagers, though. It's not so fun.
well, I'm not waiting. I'm not looking forward to that stage of things just yet.
What do you mean? If they become, you get one flick, I'm just flick you off.
But the good thing, and again, the beauty of having you know, kids so young is that, you know, when you're in your 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, going up, you know, almost on the same par as them. You know, my son, my son's now 12. So, you know, when he's rocking in his teenage years, you know, he can't, you know, where
You already been there. You know that, Jermaine.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything he tries, you already done.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, it weren't so long ago. Don't come again. Give me another excuse.
Exactly.
You know?
All trying to sneak the dog the food. Nah, try that one. You know, eat what's on your plate.
No, it's good. It's good.
You know what? I think that's the weirdest thing as well, because I can look at my daughter and see that she's doing something that she's not supposed to, and because like she's more advanced than me, but at the same time I can see the look in her face that I used to do.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts as well.
Yeah. You're so close in generation that it's almost, you know, it's almost silly for them to think that they can get away with anything. I mean, my parents, my grandparents, so far, it's like, you know, a lot of the tricks that they did is completely different to tricks that, you know, we evolved, our tricks evolved. The way that we try to get out of certain situations or lie or whatever it is was different. But like my son he says some stuff and I'm just like, no, come again. Like, tell me, you got to go away and think of something new, because I already know that one. So it's, it's a good experience. It is, and I think they can relate a lot to you as well. You know, you kind of go to the school and they're like, oh, is your brother picking you up today?
Well, actually, Charlotte wouldn't know that too much. Well, but Charlotte's baby's still young, isn't he? How old's your baby?
2, yeah.
He's 2.
He's just
so
2.
Charlotte's not really understanding the relation thing just yet.
No.
But she will understand though. Like, she can relate to certain things.
How old are you again, Charlotte?
I'm 20. Turn 21 next month.
Okay. Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah, starting stages. It's good. It's good.
Did you want a boy?
Pardon?
Did you get what you wanted as in your boy? Did you get what you wanted?
Yeah. 1 sec.
I think that's a good question, isn't it? It's like people normally say, "Oh, I really don't mind a boy or girl."
It's a blessing either way. Listen, you're bringing life. It's a blessing either way.
I got 3 girls, 1 boy. I wanted all boys, and this morning when they told me it was a girl.
But why didn't you want your girl? Why did you want a girl?
No, I wanted a boy. I wanted boys.
Yeah, so why didn't you want a girl?
Oh, you know, I just thought because I'll be raising a little me. I know what I could teach. I wanted a father to teach me how to be a man. I wanted a son so I could teach him how to be a man. I mean, I can't teach these girls how to be women, but I can teach them what men do, and so they can watch out. But you're right. They're blessed to do. I love my girls to death. In fact, my girls are more loyal than my son. You know what I mean? The whole mother-son thing. So I know
I'm happy. I'm happy I had a boy, but I really want a little girl now. I really want
right?
Yeah, obviously not right now. I'm not going to rush into it this time. I'm gonna, but I do. Next time I have a baby, I'd love to have a little girl.
No, yeah. I mean, everyone definitely has a preference, but a lot of the times it is as long as the baby's healthy. But
yeah,
my last and final, I definitely said it has to be like a boy, because I only wanted one girl. I definitely wanted a girl, but I only wanted one. So it was like boy, girl, and the last one when we went to find out the gender, it was like they kind of say, as long as the baby's healthy, it doesn't matter what gender. I say that, but in my heart, I was just there going, please, if you tell me it's another girl, obviously you go ahead with it, you're gonna have your baby either way. Love that child either way, but just for my own preference. So when it was a boy, I was like, brilliant, amazing, shut up, no more, we're done. That's it, You got the boy, girl, boy, exactly what you wanted. Let's not play with fate. Let's not play with fate anymore. Let's.
Bro, you chopped it. You got clipped.
Sorry?
I said you get clipped.
No. But there's plans.
My partner said he wants to do the same as well. But I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that.
Are you happy with 3 kids, Jan?
Yeah, I'm happy. Done.
Shut up. I want 3.
Yeah, 3.
I want more. I want like 6. I got 4. I want 2 more.
My
wife want 2 more, so I'm down to adopt.
You said your partner doesn't want 2 more.
She don't. We just had our 2-year-old, and she's still breastfeeding. And I'm like, you ready for another baby? She's like, no, there's babies on my boobs still.
How you gonna do her like that? You can't do her like that.
Look, I told her, I said, look, if you don't want to have babies, I'm down to adopt. We can adopt a child. If you don't want to push any more babies out, but I want more babies. So she's with that. She told me if I moved her to a big city, she'll give me more babies. So I gotta move her out.
Yeah.
6 kids.
Yeah. I'm almost there. I got 4.
Yeah.
I just need 2 more.
That's amazing.
Calls a lot.
That's amazing. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Thank you. But like I said, it's easy. The kids is easy, and the first 2 years, they don't even need me. They just want the boob and the mom, So like that part's easy. But then when they become more like toddlers, that's when I gotta really be there and be ready to hold it down.
Of course. Of course. No, but do you know what, guys? Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a massive conversation that's so different depending on who you talk and their situation, circumstances and stuff. But I think you guys have given enough information for different people out there in different circumstances think and check themselves based on your experiences as well, be able to make that conscious decision. But either way, we made it through it. Where Charlotte, you're 2 years in, and funny when I look back at being 20, it's like, what, like, was I
Yes.
like, that's crazy.
Isn't it?
Only because, to be honest, you don't strike 20-year-olds as well. So I think that's part of it. But then it's like,
everyone literally says that I'm really, really mature, and they think that I'm like 25.
Yeah.
And it's like I've had to mature, like from the age of 17. I moved out at 17, so I was like cooking for myself, everything like that, lived on my own, and then obviously a baby.
I'd say you still look like a baby, but you carry yourself in a mature way. So it's not that you look like a baby, but you definitely carry yourself in a grown woman manner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, so again, anyone watching, there's definitely a lot of advice to be taken from this. But as Shan mentioned, there's also a lot of helplines and systems actually out there that you can get in contact with. So please do so. But for now, I think we are pretty much done. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been an absolutely amazing episode. I was just checking through my notifications just now, and I've got loads of messages coming through, no doubt. People asking, either people saying, yeah, can you stop now, or just asking so many questions. So again, if you get a second part to this, I'll definitely holler at you guys. You've been.
I was about to say, when is the part 2 coming, baby? I'm
Well,
ready.
Again, like based on all the feedback that we get and watching it through. As I said, this is a massive topic, isn't it? It's
Yeah, definitely.
how much stuff you can say on this. For now, we're going to say goodbye to all of our live streamers, and we'll see you again.
All right, thanks, man.